announce $7.3 billion.
Right now at 6, Biden speaking in Westby about a new investment in rural power.
Plus, his son Hunter Biden pleads guilty in a tax evasion case.
Watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski.
And I'm Emily Brown. President Joe Biden visiting Westby to announce a major investment in rural electric cooperatives.
News 8 Now's Allison Ferget is live at Vernon Electric Cooperative in Westby, where the president spoke earlier today. Good evening, Allison.
Ken and Emily, as you can see behind me, they are still tearing down the scene where earlier today Joe Biden made an announcement that brought local leaders to their feet. Joe Biden announcing $7.3 billion in funding that will be going to rural electric co-ops across the country. And one of the groups getting a slice, Dairyland Power Cooperative. That money will help Dairyland and other co-ops build clean energy infrastructure projects, which Biden says will significantly reduce pollution.
Because of our historic actions, we're going to reduce by 43 million tons greenhouse gas pollution every single year.
Dairyland says not only will this funding help them reach their goal of reducing their greenhouse gas emissions, they'll also be able to reduce prices for their members. The funding will allow them to offset the initial cost of renewable energy projects and also refinance some existing debt on power plants. Dairyland's president says getting this funding now will help them reach their clean energy goals quicker.
What this program allows us to do is it's really moving us from a walk to a run. Without this grant, we would be unable to do it as big and as fast without this assistance.
According to a release, Dairyland will use the funding to develop projects totaling 1,080 megawatts. They estimate that will lower their rates by 42% over the next 10 years, thanks in all part to today's funding. Now, every official that spoke today is very confident that projects like this will help rural communities across the country, but especially in Westby. Reporting in Westby, Allison Ferget, Ken and Emily, back to you.
All right, thank you, Allison. Now, the president's visit comes the same day his son is pleading guilty to tax evasion in California. Hunter Biden was charged with failing to pay more than $1 million in federal taxes while living an extravagant lifestyle between 2016 and 2019. Biden's lawyers initially tried to submit an Alford plea, which means he would maintain innocence but accept the sentence for a guilty verdict. But Biden then switched to a straightforward guilty plea. He could face 17 years in prison.
Back in Westby, the president's arrival created quite a stir for those living in the city of less than 2,500 people. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall met with neighbors who live across the street from Vernon Electric Co-op and tells us their reactions to his visit. Jeremy.
Well, Emily, Vernon Electric Co-op is where the president spoke today, barely just feet away from the neighborhood I'm in right now. Now, many of the people here in Westby are middle class, and that's who he spoke to. And while plenty of Westby residents aren't Biden or Harris supporters, those I spoke to say in a city this size, it's exciting to have the president of the United States in their backyard. Lori Feller retired from Vernon Electric 2 years ago. When she heard the president would be visiting the facility today, she says she wishes she waited a little longer. She and many of her neighbors lined up along Saugstad Road hoping for a glimpse of the president as his motorcade passed by. And they weren't disappointed. While she says she's excited to have the president in her town today, it's the federal funding efforts making the biggest impact.
I'm excited for the president of the United States to look at what he gave us for our road. I'm excited for the road to get done, not for it to be continuing here yet, but I'm excited for that.
That was her neighbor, Chris Cade, speaking about how excited she is of what his funding has done for the community. Now, while Biden is the first president to visit Westby, he isn't the first to pass through the city. George W. Bush drove through Westby while campaigning for his brother Jeb Bush during his 2016 bid for the presidency. Reporting here in Westby, Jeremy Wall, News 8 Now.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy.
Well, not everyone is so happy for the president to visit. Wisconsin GOP Chairman Brian Schimming issuing a statement before Biden's arrival, saying in part, Joe Biden's return to Wisconsin is the comeback tour that no one wanted. This visit is not a celebration, but a somber reminder that a vote for Harris and Tim Walz this November is a vote for another 4 years of Joe Biden. Congressman Derek Van Orden and U.S. Senate candidate Eric Hovde also teaming up today to talk economics with farmers in Melrose.
Both believe Bidenomics have negative impacts on American farmers. Van Orden says excessive regulations and high diesel prices under the Biden administration limit farmers' profits, and that affects the average grocery bill.
Input costs are up, which means that it costs more to put feed in the ground. It costs more to milk these cows, to get the milk to market, and it's hurting our farmers every single day. So when people in the United States are having difficulty filling up a gas tank and a grocery cart on the same day in the United States of America, something's wrong.
Van Orden also called upon the Senate Agriculture Committee to allow Congress to pass the Farm Bill to support farmers with funding programs and improved crop insurance. Democrats have been staunchly opposed to elements of the House Ag version, which proposes the largest cut in 30 years to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly known as food stamps. The 2018 Farm Bill will expire at the end of this month.
Well, a bit of a soggier start to our day, but not a bad September afternoon afterwards, Greg.
No, actually, temperatures got back up to the 70s. A little not as quite as warm as we had yesterday, but overall we picked up maybe a quarter of an inch of rain for most areas, a little bit less to the south, a little bit more to the north of that line of showers and thunderstorms that came through in the morning hours. Otherwise, we're going to see evening hours. We're going to see maybe a shower or two out there, but most areas will remain dry, but that wind out of the north will decrease a little bit, 62 as we go throughout for La Crosse. Same story with La Crosse. We still could see a shower, especially further north of Eau Claire, getting back to 60 with that north wind decreasing a little bit, but still out there. Overall temperatures in the 70s. See a few showers. Really the only activity with shower activity is probably just north of Eau Claire to Ladysmith. That's coming through right now. So some of those areas extended up there could see a little bit of light rain here over the next 30 minutes. More of those could develop throughout the night, but very isolated in coverage. So most areas will remain dry. A little bit cooler. Some areas getting back into the 40s, but overall not too bad for this time of year yet. Now for tomorrow, you're definitely going to have to need the jacket, the hoodie, the flannel. I guess it is flannel season almost by now. You're going to definitely need that because temperatures will struggle to get to the 60s. We have showers, and then I'll break down how cold it's going to get Friday night going into Saturday. But we're going to flip the switch going into next week. So goodbye October, hello August, or even July coming back.
I'm kind of looking forward to it tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be, I like change. I do, but I do want to get back on track for summer for a little bit longer.
True.
Yeah.
Again, it is brief.
It is brief.
Thank you, Greg. Well, La Crosse's Parks Director is asking the city for $270,000 to cover marsh cleanup and to add more park security. It's the latest step in a long-developing city homelessness issue that parks officials are currently calling a no-win situation. This summer, Common Council expanded the camping ban to include all city-owned property. It was a response to unsheltered individuals living in the La Crosse River marsh. Last month, park staff and law enforcement cleared out the marsh, picking up 44 tons of garbage. Parks Director Jay Odegaard says they had no choice but to clean the marsh, but the costs tied to that were not part of his department's budget.
You know, our work won't be done here. There's going to be other encampments, and we'll continue to address it. However, none of that is, built into our operating budget. We're faced with doing our job, yet trying to be compassionate at the same time, and we oftentimes find it very difficult to not, get faulted either way we go.
Now, the other part of the funding request will add security to Cameron and Burns parks during the week. This year, the city hired Byerson Specialized Protection Services to monitor city parks and ramps on the weekends. This request would allow 2 more security guards, one to monitor each park from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday.
We had a approved security contract, but when it was approved, we didn't really have a funding source for it. So part of that is this. If the funding request is not approved, then we will be not doing the security in the parks.
If approved, that security schedule would be in place through the end of this year. Odegaard says the security is not to keep anyone out of the parks. It's to ensure that anyone using the parks is following the rules.
A school shooting in Georgia is prompting new questions to be raised.
What law enforcement says about the shooter's history when we come back.
Make your tailgate tail great at Hy-Vee. Fresh ground chuck, $3.98 a pound. Hy-Vee potato chips, just 99 cents. And Coke 6-pack bottles, just $2.98. Save in-store and online, Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote that created America's inflation.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill is passed.
Economists said Harris's vote led directly to the higher prices we pay. 22% more for groceries, 50% more for gas. Mortgage costs nearly double. Thanks a lot, Kamala. Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month. Call 1-833-376-4999.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too. Call now.
T-Mobile coverage in my area is wonderful.
We have 8 acres, and it gives you peace of mind to know that you're going to have a reliable signal.
We enjoy hiking. We enjoy the outdoors. The coverage has been great.
And after investing billions to light up our network from big cities to small towns, T-Mobile is America's largest and fastest 5G network. See for yourself. Try T-Mobile's network free for 3 months. Your phone, our network, no strings.
Okay, 500 deluxe garden gnomes. Wow.
I only meant to order 5. There's not enough money in my account for these. I'm gonna get charged.
2 things I just can't deal with: overdraft charges and garden gnomes. But your BMO Smart Advantage checking account gives you an extra day to avoid an overdraft fee.
Nice to see a bank cutting people some slack.
Well, mistakes happen, and we give you time to correct them.
So you don't like gnomes, huh? What about that one?
That one I like a lot.
BMO. At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, you can always find the best brands at the best prices. But for a limited time only, we're offering our lowest prices of the year throughout the store. Like 20-pound bags of Blaine's brand wild bird food. Rewards members get 2 for $12. 40-pound bags of Easy Heat wood fuel pellets, $4.39 each. And 20-pound bags of Blaine's brand Easy Scoop cat litter, 4 for $24. Don't miss your chance to get our lowest prices of the year. Only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Make your tailgate tail great at Hy-Vee. Fresh ground chuck, $3.98 a pound. Hy-Vee potato chips, just 99 cents. And Coke 6-pack bottles, just $2.98. Save in-store and online, Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia will not have their Friday night lights this week as the football game has been canceled due to the deadly school shooting. The shooting suspect has been identified as 14-year-old Colt Gray, a student from Appalachia High School. He killed 2 fellow students and 2 teachers. He'll be charged as an adult on 4 felony murder charges.
Investigators had interviewed the teen and his father last year following anonymous tips about online threats. And although the suspect's father revealed that he kept hunting guns in the house, he told investigators his son didn't have unsupervised access to them, and they determined there was no probable cause for arrest.
That being able to secure those firearms and ensure that these kids do not gain access to them in any way.
9 other people, 8 students and 1 teacher were wounded and hospitalized, all of whom are expected to survive. The shooting is at least the 45th school shooting in 2024 and the deadliest this year, according to a CNN analysis.
Greg will have your 8-day forecast right after the break.
Huge selection of rugs and art under the white tent in the Valley View Mall parking lot. Multiple sizes including brown rugs and so much more. Hurry, don't miss this.
Women need to pay close attention
to what Eric Hovde says about access to abortion.
Hovde's all in about opposing reproductive rights.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
And he wanted Roe overturned.
Do you think Roe versus Wade should be overturned?
Yes. So Eric Hovde is okay with politicians overruling decisions of doctors like me.
My patients worry about what Hovde will take away next.
A vote for Eric Hovde means we'll lose even more control over our lives.
Women Vote is responsible for the content of this ad.
At Taco John's, we've got beef with other places that start with frozen beef. That's why we start with only 100% American never frozen beef, simmered in our signature spice blend. Say no to thaw and yes to 100% American beef at Taco John's.
When you want to make your home a warmer, more welcoming place, it's hard to beat the feel of a fire. Transform your home with a Heat and Glow gas insert from La Crosse Fireplace Company. Enjoy all the coziness with none of the hassle. No cleanup, no drafts, and low maintenance. Just efficient and reliable warmth made easy. Your new Heat and Glow fireplace can be installed in just a day, right inside your outdated wood fireplace. La Crosse Fireplace Company, because your place is by the fire.
Scouting has helped them build confidence through problem solving, learning to cook over a fire, building a tent in areas that they don't always get exposed to.
It's not competitive. It really helps develop your son or daughter into a great human being.
This is a great opportunity for your child to get to know the outdoors, and there's so much that outside and nature can provide for our children, and having these experiences is what Scouting is all about.
Arby's is full of choices. Quick, you can get your favorite stuff. 3 for $5.
Pretty good.
Incredible value for a limited time. Reach in and eat whatever you grab. Arby's, we have the meats.
Huge selection of rugs and art under the white tent in the Valley View Mall parking lot. Inventory is priced to sell, so stop in today. Hurry, don't miss this.
Yeah, overall, we had the front come through this morning with that line of showers and thunderstorms. We have another little system up to the north that's going to bring some more showers as we go to Friday. Not really a lot, but it's really going to be behind that system up to the north, right here north of Winnipeg. We're going to really see the temperatures drop tomorrow with this wind out of the north all the way up to central Canada. So that's the pattern we're in. The west is heating up. We're going to cool down, and in fact, the whole eastern half of the U.S. is going to be on kind of a cool trend for at least the next 3 to 4 days. But we have some showers Friday, cooler conditions. You'll see with the wind also out of the north. Chilly going into Friday night. We're going to probably see some 30s out there. I don't know if we'll see record lows. I think La Crosse could get down to the low 40s. The records are in upper 30s, so we'll see. Frost is there as a potential in some of the colder locations. Then cool on Saturday, but then we're going to really warm up pretty quickly on Sunday, back to almost seasonable conditions for Sunday. And that warm up is going to continue all of next week. But for tonight, we still could see a shower. I think mainly northern areas could see it, but still anywhere further south might see one overnight. Very light. I think otherwise just some cloud cover with that north wind dying off a little bit. By tomorrow morning, we're going to start seeing a little bit more moisture push up to the north. So a few showers in the morning for some of the areas. But then as we get to some daytime heating throughout, we'll probably start seeing more showers developing as that cooler air begins to push into the area. So even at 10 a.m., you got a few showers out there that'll come through. Maybe even a thunderstorm. Just depends if we get enough sunlight and daylight heating. But then towards the afternoon and evening, you still got some showers out there between about 3 to 5 p.m. Now for high school football, I think most of these will die off. We still could see a few maybe for far southern areas, but the bigger story going for Friday night football is the temperatures may start off around the 60s. By the time you finish up, we're seeing potentially some 40s up to the north too. So definitely going to feel that chill with that north wind that'll continue. So definitely a cooler night for Friday night football. As we go in for tomorrow's highs, really mid 60s if you're lucky, maybe 70 further south where they get a little bit more sun. Up to the north, low 60s. So that's about 5 to 10 degrees below average to what we should be seeing. Here's the Saturday morning lows, and you can see some areas in the 40s, mid 30s for Sparta in the colder locations, and even upper 30s down there. So we're not far off from freezing, but definitely you're going to feel that chill going into Saturday morning. The good news, it's really just one morning we're going to see that. Things will change. Really right as we noticed, here's a jet stream coming straight to the south right now. That's allowing the cool air to come here. But out to the west, it's going well north, and they are starting to heat up. They're going to have a heat wave out to the west. Eventually, this jet's going to kind of pull north, and we're going to get kind of in the warmer side of it as we go through Monday. And all of next week, it's going to be well to the north. So we're going to see temperatures stay in the 80s for the most part next week, potentially mid to upper 80s as we go towards this later half of the weekend. The other big story of this whole forecast is dry conditions, and this looks to be dry beyond next week, even going into the middle of September too. So we got a dry, warm stretch coming, but we definitely got to get through Friday and Saturday, especially Saturday morning. You'll definitely see your breath outside. It'll be cold. We could have some fog in those areas that have rivers and all that stuff, but definitely it's going to be a chilly morning.
So that Saturday morning coffee is going to hit a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, and Friday Night Football, you're definitely going to need the jacket, especially towards the end of the game. It's going to be cool.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Coming up next in sports, the Eagles looking for their 11th win in their last 12 season openers. We've got an update from out east. Plus, the Eagle has landed. Well, the Packers and Philadelphia Eagles both did. Hear about the excitement over the first ever game in South America. We'll be right back after this.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
Life's busy. Off is not an option. You need to be on. On time, on the go, on the call, or just ready to play on. Life's waiting. Power on with Batteries Plus. Visit one of over 700 locations today.
Eric Hovde, multimillionaire California banker, named one of Orange County's most influential residents. A glamorous lifestyle, the best parties. Hovde bragged about being in the 1%, but accused Wisconsin farmers of not working hard. Now, this California banker wants to buy a Senate seat in Wisconsin. Eric Hovde, what an arrogant, phony fraud. DSCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
A lot has changed since the Overhead Door Company installed its first door in 1921. One thing that hasn't, our commitment to quality. We set the standard a century ago with the first motorized garage door, and we have not stopped innovating since. Today, you can build your dream door with the DoorView app, and with the OHD Anywhere app, you can control your new door from anywhere. So next time you need a repair or replacement for your garage door, look for the red ribbon and trust 100 years of experience Overhead Door Company.
Whatever you were thinking, think bigger. It's the King Furniture Labor Day sale. Bigger selection and bigger discounts. Get up to 60% off the biggest names in furniture and 0% financing. Whoa, now that's big. Shop our huge inventory of in-stock furniture and have it in your home quick with free delivery. You won't want to miss this. It's the Labor Day sale going on now at King Furniture.
Batteries Plus has the national scale for all your power needs and a dedicated expert for the local support you want. Power on with Batteries Plus Business.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, pads are back to popping today. The NFL returns this evening, but also beginning today, Division III football. The UWL Eagles, who have their sights set on a national championship, are hoping to start out 1-0. Lacrosse is up 35 points on RPI out in New York in the two programs' first ever meeting. Eagles got things going with a bang with a 64-yard bomb from Zach Weir to Jack Studer, and that would eventually be a score later in that drive from Weir. UWL also had a 14-0 lead going into halftime. Also beginning their season tonight are the Winona State Warriors as they host the Saginaw Valley State team in just over a half an hour from Winona. It's a rematch of last year's season opener where the Cardinals won by 10 points. Last year, WSU finished 5-6, but Winona State has been successful lately in their first game of the year, going 7-3 over their last 10. We'll have highlights from that one tonight for you at 10. The Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles are in Brazil ahead of the NFL's first ever game to be played in South America. Packers players arrived in Sao Paulo Wednesday and were greeted by some die-hard fans who made the trip themselves. Eagles players also arrived on Wednesday. Sao Paulo has extra security measures in place for the game. Brazilian officials say that comes after some players raised concerns about security in Latin America's largest country. The Packers and Eagles will face off Friday at Arena Corinthians, the contest also representing the first NFL Week 1 game to be played on a Friday night.
We're really excited to be down here in Brazil. Your country's been great to us. The people have been fantastic. We're looking forward to making history tomorrow and really looking forward to playing the Philadelphia Eagles to start off the 2024 season.
Now, Green Bay are underdogs by about a field goal in that game. That one kicks off a little after 7 tomorrow. And remember, that game airing on Peacock. So I know I'm next to a couple of travelers here, and the game being in a different country is a cool aspect. So if you guys go to one NFL game in a different country, where would you go?
Out of the ones that have currently been done, or any other city?
Anywhere. I like a body of water, so any stadium that had a view of an ocean.
Okay.
I don't know where exactly.
I don't know where that would be.
Yeah.
I would just love a great excuse to get to Poland, so something in Warszawa or Kraków that it could get me over to Poland because I haven't done it yet.
That sounds good to me. I like the way you said
Yeah,
that.
do they do this every year? Like an international?
It is certainly the trend.
Yeah, I like it.
A couple of them now every year.
I'd have to go follow a game once a year.
There you go.
Follow it. Okay.
Thanks, Jacob.
All right, we'll have another look at your forecast right after this.
Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote that created America's inflation.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill is passed.
Economists said Harris's vote led directly to the higher prices we pay. 22% more for groceries, 50% more for gas. Mortgage costs nearly double. Thanks a lot, Kamala. Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome to Wesco. Welcome to huge selection and savings. Who loves a good game of Plinko? Wesco and Sparta is making sure your price is right. Come on in and play a game of Plinko to see what your discount is. Discounts up to 30% off in select departments. What discount will you get? Wesco and Sparta, where white glove delivery and setup are always free. Tell them Peyton sent you.
You just have to get in the seat of a John Deere Gator XUV 835M, not because of the spacious cargo box, or because it can tackle any terrain, not even because it tows up to 4,000 pounds. You just have to get in the seat because something about being this productive just makes you smile.
Visit Tractor Central, take a seat, and see for yourself why nothing runs like a Deere. Start now at TractorCentral.com.
Darling, I believe everything's gonna be alright. No need to worry because you got somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at, we got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
All right, minus the showers we see tomorrow, the bigger story of the forecast with the cold air that's come Saturday morning is the dry conditions that we have beyond that. And if you want the 80s, they're coming back next week. So it looks like a nice stretch of 80-degree weather.
Right there.
Looking out pretty darn good on that 8 day. Thanks for joining us at 6.
We'll see you at 10.